Alright, and finally let's go back to the idle and we'll go through kind of what we did on the slides here. If we do show users, you may notice here that I did have a user that was connected. Whoops. Let me do this first. I want to get out of, well, right now we're telling it to ourselves. Let's get back. So if you notice here, we did have 3 connections. We had a connection from our console line and then 2 VTY line connections. One was from router 2 and the other was from router 3. If we scroll way up, we can see, if we scroll way up, here we go. And this will tell you a little bit of why we don't see router 3 anymore. So you could see this idle time is, again, like I said, the amount of time that the user has not interacted with the CLI. So we were logged in from router 3, and right here we got to 9 minutes and 12 seconds. By default, the maximum idle time on a VTY line is 10 minutes. So after 10 minutes, it's going to disconnect, and that's a good feature. And we can show this with the show line VTY. In this case, let's just do 0. It's going to give us a bunch of output here. I'm going to scroll up because I only got a little bit of screen space here. It's our idle exec command. So after 10 minutes of not doing anything, it's going to go ahead and log you out. And you could change that. There's a video for showing you how to do that. I just wanted to show you. So then on R3, I've just gone over to R3 and you can see it closed the connection. Alright, so back to the matter at hand. Let's go back up and do a show users. What I wanted to show you, and like I said on the slides, is that this is the idle time. It's the amount of time that the user has not basically done anything. In this case, R2, we've got a user, router 2, from the location r2.packetlab.com. Hasn't done anything for 3 minutes and 33 seconds. Again, I've heard this misrepresented as the total amount of time that the user has been logged in. If you want to do that, want to see what that actual amount of time is, we do a show line, and because this guy's connected on VTY line 0, you specify VTY line 0, and I'm going to just include activation. I just want the line that shows how long he's been on, and that contains the word activation in all lowercase. So this guy's been on for 27 minutes and 9 seconds. He's just been inactive for 3 minutes and 37 seconds. So don't confuse these two values. Let's go ahead and reissue our show users command. And you'll see that the idle time, when it's all zeros, the reason this is because this is us. The asterisk shows us that this is a connection that we're using. So every time we issue a command, whether it's an enter or our show commands, it's going to reset this idle time. And we can go over to R2 real quick, and you can see R2 is actually telnet at R1. We're going to hit enter, pop back over to R1, up arrow, show users, and if you remember, we were at about 5 minutes of idle time. That single enter statement, call it a statement, just hitting enter went ahead and reset that, and it took me about 3 seconds for me to go ahead and reissue this command. So again, final time, I'm going to say, just don't mix up the idle time with the total amount of time that the user has been on the device. The who command is basically what the show users command was built to emulate. In Unix, who does the same function, a little different output, and you can specify different arguments like -m, for example. What's interesting is that on the router, and we'll bring this up again, let's go ahead and scroll down over, give it a little bit more space. Even though we have the show user command, the who command still exists. So if I issue a who, and you have to spell it out all the way, yeah, if you do wh, it's actually doing the where command. Anyways, I'll get to this in a second. So type out who, and it gives you the same output as the show users command with no arguments. And to prove that, I'll just do a show users. Look at same output. Amazing. What's semi-interesting about this is that the who command is not listed. So if you type w and then the question mark, that invokes the iOS help. And I'm sorry if I'm going over stuff that you already know, but what that does is it's going to list the iOS commands that start with W, and you can see we got where, with VPN, blah blah blah. These will differ based on your platform and iOS version, but we don't see who. So if we do a WH, we have where and which route. Wow, I don't even know what that command does. Again, we don't see who, and that's why when we hit WH before, we got that we were actually invoking the where statement. If you type who and then hit question mark for arguments, there's no arguments. So it's kind of a hidden command. Really, it's, you can use it, but use the show users because you don't know when this will go away. Show users has been around and will stay around for a while. It also has a few additional arguments like the show users all, whereas who doesn't. It's also a little known fact that if you get the Cajun version of the iOS command, you can type who dat. Unfortunately, I'm not running that code on my router. That was all a bunch of bullshit, so don't write me saying I've been trying who dat and I can't find a Cajun. iOS command. Saints just won the Super Bowl recently. Congratulations, even though you beat my Vikings, you fuckers. So we've been hearing a lot of who dat. Anywho, moving on. So in summary, this show user command does exactly what it says. It displays a list of the users actively connected to your device. From this output, you can tell what line a user is connected to, what username they're using, where they're coming from, and how long their session has been idle. It gives you a lot of information that you can use in the real world. It's kind of nice because if you're going in to make a change, you're might want to issue this command to see what other users are in the device and ask them to get out or ask them what the hell they're doing so that you don't step on each other's toes. There's some other videos here that I would check out, like clearing a line. You can have a lot of fun with this. This gives you the information that kind of gives you the keys to fuck with your coworkers, so you can actually knock users off using the information here. You can send them messages. Again, those are in different lessons. But that's going to wrap it up for today. I'm not going to do a full lab because I think we saw a lot of this on the CLI when we were going through the fields. So thanks for joining me in the Packet Lab. As always, I hope this was beneficial, and I hope to see you again soon.